You know, King Charles became king so recently. So, how is there already a book out about him? Well, I'm going to introduce you to the number one New York Times bestselling author, Christopher Andersen, who wrote the book. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
What made you want to write books about, the British Empire?
Right. Well, I've been working, actually covering the royal family for 49 years.
Wow.
Boy, I'm tired. But I can remember covering the Silver Jubilee, the 25th anniversary of the Queen sitting on the throne in 1977. And I was in Westminster Abbey. The entire family was within feet of me. They came up. I was sitting next to the royal enclosure. And, they were, of course, globally famous and they were historic figures. Everybody was there except Diana, who was not in the picture yet. It would be a couple of years before she, became engaged to Charles or even met Charles. So, they were kind of waxworks figures, to be honest with you. Now they're real people. I mean, here this Diana comes in and injects this kind of magic into the family. She has this charisma that's spectacular. And of course, the tortured marriage, the relationships, the scandals that go on and on. I mean, from that point on, when Diana entered the picture, I had already been covering the family for over a decade, but I was completely hooked on this drama that was unfolding. So this is my seventh book. The other six have been New York Times bestsellers. The seventh book about the royal family, and I like to think this is the best one because it really tackles a personality that people don't know and don't understand, and that's the new king. And by the way, everybody still lapses into calling him Prince Charles. You have to really get used to this king thing.
What is something that surprised you over, I guess, the research of, putting this all together?
Well, I think his childhood. See, this is what I find fascinating. Everybody carries around the scars from their childhood, let's face it, and the good things as well. But in his case, he had a miserable, heartbreaking, lonely childhood. He was very sensitive, very introspective. His parents, he described them as the queen is cold and aloof. His father is basically a bully who reduced him to tears on an almost daily basis. He only saw his parents during his childhood for two 15-minute periods during the day, once at 9 o'clock and then before dinner at 6 o'clock. The nanny would take him in, take him out. So we never had any real kind of emotional support except from the Queen Mother, who was very warm and caring, and Mabel Andersen, his nanny. They send him off to a school. They send him off not just to any school. They send him off to two schools that are just brutal. One of them, Gordonston in Scotland, where he is tortured by the other students who think it's just great to beat up on a guy who's going to be the future king. You'd think you'd cozy up to the king, but
Right.
Future king. They did the opposite. They would kick him in the head at night. They would hang him up in the shower and spray him with ice cold water, and leave him there. And so, he was bruised and battered and beaten in every way possible. And he tried to get his parents to rescue him. He wrote these tear-stained letters saying, "Please, please, please save me." And the Queen and Prince Philip would not do it. So I think that really left this sense of victimhood with this guy. But the flip side of him is because of that, he wants what he wants. He has a huge temper, which I describe in the book, many, many tantrums. And of course, the relationship with Camilla, that's the only woman he felt that really gave him emotional support. And she's still very much in the picture, Queen Camilla.
Thank you so much for joining us today and telling us a little bit about it. And bravo on all the stuff you've been able to cover over the years.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it is, again, it's the gift that keeps on giving, as subject matter goes. It's really quite a colorful family.
Yes. And again, the book is The King, The Life of Charles III. So thank you again. And if you'd like to see this segment again, just head to our website at firstcoastliving.net.